Hey Sarah, I need your help with something. I've been trying to get in shape for months now, but I keep failing. I start strong, go to the gym for a week, and then I just stop. What am I doing wrong?
Oh, Tom, you're definitely not alone in this. Millions of people struggle with the exact same thing. You know what? There's this incredible book called Atomic Habits by James Clear that basically explains why this happens to all of us.
Atomic habits. That's an interesting title. What does atomic even mean in this context?
Great question. When we hear atomic, we usually think of atomic bombs or something massive, right? But James Clear uses it differently. He means atomic as in tiny, like an atom, the smallest possible unit. So atomic habits are these tiny, almost invisible changes we make in our daily routine.
Wait, so you're saying tiny changes can actually make a big difference? That sounds too good to be true.
I know it sounds that way, but here's the thing. The main idea of the book is that if you get just 1% better every single day, those small improvements compound over time. Imagine you improve by 1% each day for a year. By the end of that year, you'd be 37 times better than when you started.
37 times? That's incredible. But how does that actually work in real life?
Let me give you a real example from the book. There's this British cycling team that was absolutely terrible for decades. They hadn't won a single Tour de France in over 100 years. Then they hired a new coach named Dave Brailsford, and he had this philosophy called the aggregation of marginal gains.
The aggregation of what now? You're going to need to break that down for me.
Sorry, aggregation just means collecting or gathering together. Marginal means small or minor. So basically, he focused on making tiny improvements in every single area. They redesigned the bike seats to make them more comfortable. They tested different types of massage gels to see which one helped muscles recover faster. They even painted the inside of the team truck white so they could spot any dust that might affect the bike's performance.
Wow, that's attention to detail. Did it actually work?
Absolutely. Within 5 years, the British cycling team dominated the Olympics and won the Tour de France. And get this, they went on to win it 5 more times in the next 6 years, all because of these tiny 1% improvements stacked on top of each other.
That's a game changer. But here's my problem. I understand the concept, but how do I actually apply this to my gym situation? I mean, I can't redesign my running shoes or something.
You don't need to. The book explains that the real issue isn't your goals, it's your systems. Most people, including you probably, focus on the outcome they want. You want to lose weight, get in shape, look better. But James Clear says you should focus on the system instead.
Wait, what's the difference between a goal and a system?
Okay, so a goal is the result you want to achieve, like I want to lose 20 pounds. A system is the process that leads to that result, like I'm going to walk for 30 minutes every day after breakfast. See the difference? The goal is the destination, but the system is the journey.
I never thought of it that way. So you're saying everyone has the same goals, but not everyone has the same systems?
Exactly. Think about it. Every athlete in the Olympics has the goal of winning a gold medal, but the ones who actually win are the ones with the best training systems. The book says that if you want better results, forget about setting goals and focus on your system instead.
Okay, this is starting to make sense, but I still don't know how to build a good system. Where do I even start?
This is where the book gets really practical. James Clear breaks down habit formation into 4 simple steps. He calls them the 4 laws of behavior change. The first law is to make it obvious.
Make it obvious? What does that mean?
It means that most of our habits are invisible to us. We do them automatically without thinking. So the first step is to become aware of them. James Clear suggests something called habit stacking. This is where you take a habit you already do every day and stack a new habit on top of it.
Can you give me an example? I'm still a bit confused.
Sure, let's say you already drink coffee every morning. That's your existing habit. You could stack a new habit by saying, after I pour my morning coffee, I will do 10 push-ups. The coffee is your cue, and the push-ups become automatic because they're linked to something you already do.
Oh, that's clever. So instead of trying to remember to exercise randomly throughout the day, I tie it to something I already do without thinking.
Exactly. The book also talks about designing your environment. If you want to drink more water, put water bottles everywhere, on your desk, in your car, by your bed. Make the good habit obvious and visible.
That makes so much sense. What's the second law?
The second law is to make it attractive. And this one is really interesting because it's based on something called temptation bundling. Basically, you pair something you need to do with something you want to do.
Temptation bundling. Give me an example of that.
Okay, so let's say you love watching your favorite TV show, but you also want to exercise more. You could make a rule that you only watch that show while you're on the treadmill or doing some kind of workout. That way, you're bundling something you want to do with something you need to do.
Oh, I like that. So the thing I enjoy becomes the reward for doing the thing I'm trying to build as a habit.
Yes. And the book explains that our brain releases dopamine, which is this feel-good chemical, not just when we experience pleasure, but when we anticipate it. So when you're looking forward to your favorite show, that anticipation actually motivates you to get on the treadmill.
That's fascinating. I never knew our brains worked like that. What's the third law?
The third law is to make it easy. And this is probably the most important one for your gym problem, Tom. James Clear says motivation is overrated. What really matters is reducing friction.
Reducing friction? What do you mean by that?
Friction is anything that makes a habit harder to do. Let me ask you this. Where do you keep your gym clothes?
I guess in my closet upstairs. Why?
There's your problem. Every morning when you think about going to the gym, you have to go upstairs, find your gym clothes, get changed, pack your bag, and then drive to the gym. That's a lot of friction. By the time you're done with all that, you've probably talked yourself out of it.
Guilty as charged. So what should I do instead?
Make it ridiculously easy. The book talks about something called the 2-minute rule. Any habit should be able to be started in 2 minutes or less. So instead of saying, I'm going to work out for an hour, you say, I'm going to put on my gym clothes. That's it. Just put them on.
But if I only put on my gym clothes, I'm not actually exercising.
True, but here's the psychology behind it. Once you've put on your gym clothes, you've already started, and the hardest part of any habit is just starting. Most of the time, once you're dressed and ready, you'll actually go to the gym. But even if you don't, you've still reinforced the habit of getting ready.
I see what you mean. It's like lowering the bar so much that there's no excuse not to do it.
Exactly. And the book also suggests preparing your environment the night before. So you'd lay out your gym clothes, pack your bag, and put your keys next to the door. When you wake up, everything is ready. There's zero friction.
This is brilliant. What's the fourth law?
The fourth law is to make it satisfying. And this one is about immediate rewards. The problem with habits like exercise or saving money is that the benefits come way later, but the effort is right now. Our brains prefer immediate rewards.
So how do we trick our brains into getting immediate satisfaction from something that pays off later?
One way is habit tracking. The book recommends getting a calendar and putting an X on every day you complete your habit. It sounds simple, but there's something incredibly satisfying about seeing that chain of X's grow. You don't want to break the chain.
I've heard of this before. Jerry Seinfeld used this method for writing jokes, right?
Yes, exactly. And the visual progress is rewarding in itself. But James Clear warns about something important. He says never miss twice. If you miss one day, make sure you get back on track the next day. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new bad habit.
That's really good advice. I think that's where I always fail. I miss one day at the gym, feel bad about it, and then just give up completely.
You're not alone. Most people do that, but the book explains that successful people aren't perfect. They just don't let one mistake become a pattern. Even if they miss a day, they show up the next day, even if it's just for a shorter workout.
Okay, so we've covered the 4 laws, but I'm curious about something else. The book is called Atomic Habits, right? What's the big moral of the story? Like, what's the main message James Clear wants us to take away?
The main moral is this: you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Your habits are literally shaping your identity. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become.
Wait, habits shape our identity? Can you explain that more?
Sure, think about it this way. If you go to the gym once, you're just someone who worked out. But if you go to the gym every week for months, you become a gym person. You start to identify as someone who exercises. And once that identity is formed, the habit becomes much easier to maintain because it's part of who you are.
So instead of saying, I want to run a marathon, I should say, I want to become a runner.
Exactly. And you become a runner by running, even if it's just for 10 minutes. The book says that every time you write a page, you're a writer. Every time you practice the violin, you're a musician. Every time you make your bed, you're someone who keeps a clean space. Small habits don't just produce results, they fundamentally change how you see yourself.
This is so powerful. I feel like this book is giving me a completely different perspective on how to change my life.
It really is life-changing. And here's another important point from the book. James Clear talks about something called the plateau of latent potential. Have you ever felt like you're working hard but not seeing any results?